meeting. Just kidding.
Hi, friends. This is Corey from Comma Craft Co. So this might be a podcast. It might not be a podcast. I can't make any commitments, but I wanted to talk to my friend Fiona on the internet and let y'all into our fun conversation. So, Fiona, can you please introduce yourself? Tell us where you are in the world. What do you do? Why are we friends?
Why are we friends? Oh, that's a deep question. I'm Fiona of Fiona K Knits. I am a yarn dyer, a designer. I'm just kind of carving out my own little piece of the fiber world and inviting weirdos to come hang out with me. That's my goal. We love it. I'm in Portland, Oregon. If you see the light outside, it's clouds. It's not real light.
I'm in Sacramento, California. We've got the same clouds. We're just sharing them today.
It's cozy. It's cozy, primo, like
Sure.
hanging out with friends time.
Yeah,
Um,
let's say
yeah,
that.
I don't remember how we met, Corey. Like, how did we
I think we just met
get
on the internet
a
because that's where I meet all of my friends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
because we've
I
never
just
met in person.
no, but like I
Yeah.
feel like I've
Okay.
known you
Yeah.
like my whole life. Like it's this very weird thing where it's like, oh yeah, like this person is like one of my soulmates. Like I'm just like, oh yeah, like
Oh,
Corey, duh.
okay. Keep it coming.
Yeah.
Keep it coming, please. Anyway, so it's a podcast about me now, and uh, tell us more about Fiona K. Knits. I mean, I want to know your origin story. I don't even think I know your origin story.
Um, I did if you want to go like way back, way back. I
I
learned
mean,
I
we
learned how
can
to knit when
start
I was a
after
kid.
you were born. So,
After I was born. Well, but I did my mom taught me how to knit when I was a kid, probably like 12. She thought it would be like good mother-daughter bonding, but like 12-year-olds are horrible. So it was a time. I learned how to make like the lumpy garter stitch scarf with holes and things, and I would just be like, Mom, fix it, like, like 30 rows up from like where I made the mistake, which was great. um and then I kind of picked up knitting more seriously in college, just like to deal with kind of like stress and anxiety. um and then when I graduated, I got a job at a yarn store, and I was like, I know things about yarn, like this will be fine. And it threw me into this like whole world where I felt so at home. um
it's a
and I just
cozy
felt so
world.
accepted. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just felt so
Yeah.
accepted, like especially in the Portland yarn scene. Like I know it's
Mhm.
not this way other places, but like I felt so accepted just to like make art that I liked, and clothes that fit my body, and that was just like so magical and empowering. And then 2020 happened. um yeah, I gave birth to my daughter a week before everything closed down. um yeah, which was terrifying, like having a fresh baby and then like the whole world is like you have to stay inside or everybody's gonna die. Like it's so scary. Like it's a lot.
Yeah.
And then things kind of progressed where people had like quarantine like bubbles, so you could like see people within your little sphere. And my best friend came over one day and she was in my little bubble and she was like, I'm going to teach you how to dye yarn. Like this will be fun,
There you
this
go.
will be so therapeutic. Like we started in my kitchen in my apartment, and it just took off. Having like my yarn family be like, you're really good at this, like this is something that you should pursue. um
Love it.
so it ended up, yeah, just kind of like went from there, but it really just started out as like, I'm stuck at home with a tiny baby, the whole world is scary, I'm just gonna like make art in my kitchen. Like I literally dyed yarn when she napped after she went to bed at night, and that was kind of it. like I was on this very strict schedule and I had my 2 burners in my apartment and
I'm
I
impressed by
still
the
get the
nap
like,
thing. That
oh
sometimes
yeah,
feels like that is not long enough to do anything.
like sweating. I would be like sweating doing like, okay, like, and I can dye this solid because I know exactly how long this takes. Like I can do like I would like really like map out my
Oh yeah.
week.
Oh
And it was
yeah.
all yarn that I was just keeping for myself. But like I really just like had this plan. Excuse me. Nice burp. Um I really just like went in with like a game plan and like was so hyper fixated on dyeing yarn that it was like it was yeah, it just became everything. And then yeah, some people were like, you should sell it on Etsy. And I was like, okay, I have a lot of it now. So like let's try it.
Okay, I have nowhere to put it. So let's put it in someone else's house. Yeah. So tell me more about your brand though. Like what are your colors that you love? What's your, aesthetic? You have to say aesthetic
uh
in a whisper, by the way. It's the law.
in a whisper aesthetic. Like that. Like make
Yeah.
it a little sexy.
Yarn. Oh, yeah.
I oh god, I'm not ready. Well, like I'm wearing this is an example. We have this nice sweater. This is
Beautiful.
the sheep camp sweater by Native Knitter. And
Mm.
pretty much my personal vibes, like if I had to describe my personal style goals, it would be like if Elvira and Dolly Parton had a love child, that's who I want to
Yeah,
be.
that
Like
that tracks for
I'm
you.
like I'm like a little bit spooky and a little bit yeehaw. Like
Hmm.
I guess I
Hmm.
had somebody one time refer to my style as y'all alternative, and like that is
It's
perfect.
just so perfect. Yeah. Yeah. And
uh
for the viewers who don't know you, say to kind of you had this like
oh yeah.
other kind of, little side thing that you do and it kind of explains why you're Dolly Parton.
Yes. Yes. So my in my other life, when I have not been doing yarn, I have been riding horses my whole life. And then once I became an adult, I started working in the horse industry, like kind of off and on forever. So I'm a horse trainer. I'm also an horse massage therapist, which people are like, that's a job. And it's like, of
It's
course
so
it's a
cool.
job because every weird thing is a job. So like I have my credentials to like massage people's horses. But yeah, so like country western kind of vibes have just like always been like in my life. Like my grandpa came over from Poland, and his whole big dream was to be a cowboy, and eventually as an adult he like worked on cattle ranches and stuff. So it's like it's in my
That's
blood.
so cool.
Yeah, I come by it
Oh.
honestly. But back to back to the larger question. I feel like my brand and aesthetic, I really love high contrast things. I really love bright brights and dark darks, and I don't do a lot of like middle ground tones. I'm trying to kind of play with that a little bit and see if I can find a home there that I like, but I am really like super vivid neons and then like super moody dark colors. That's kind of where
I
I live. I feel
personally
like
don't like neon, so
never. I feel like you described it really well when we were having our conversation about like marketing stuff, where you were like, if MySpace was a color.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So that's like the
But
vibe.
yeah,
That's the energy I bring. Like pop punk, but yarn. Like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Like if Hot Topic became a yarn store,
yes, exactly.
which
That's
now
where
I'm
I
like, oh, I
live.
want that.
Well, you know where to find my yarn.
There we go. You heard it here, folks. Next collection's gonna be Hot Topic. Don't hold me to
probably
that.
actually. No,
Oh
I
my
do have a
gosh.
collection. My next collection that's coming is going to be inspired by the movie Jennifer's Body, which is kind of
Yes.
up that alley. Yes. It's apparently been 15 years since that movie's been
Okay,
released,
don't say
so
that out
going to
loud.
feel a little old.
No, don't say that out
But
loud.
I want to celebrate our queen. So the next yarn
Yeah.
collection will be inspired by that. So yeah,
Such
I'm
a
really
good
excited.
movie. I
So
cannot
good.
do scary, spooky gore, and that's one of my favorite movies because it's just so satisfying.
It's so good.
It's so good. Oh, I am so stoked for that. Yeah. So, I mean, it sounds like you are really, you know who you are, and you know who you are in your yarn. I want to know more about kind of how you, I don't know what word to use without ruffling some feathers, but I guess resist what I like to call our industry aesthetic, right? That we've got
Hmm.
pristine studio spaces, unlike my piles of um, creative things in my office here. I know you
Yeah.
refer to your space that you created as like a goblin dungeon or something, right?
Yes, yes. It's we call it in my house the die dungeon. It is
The
in my
die dungeon.
basement, so
There you go.
it is very like you have to go down the stairs, you have to turn on all the lights. Like it is like its own
It
space.
sounds so scary.
But yeah, it's the die dungeon.
Yeah, right. But yeah,
I
we see a
definitely, yeah.
lot of right pristine studios and like all product photos must have like dark white backgrounds and like not gonna name names, but influencers that like I'm a little edgy, but not too much edgy. And it's just
Hmm.
this like, when do I need to edit myself? Do I need to like make my Instagram grid look a certain way? Like, how do you deal with that kind of pressure? Right? Because it's not just that we are having fun and like making creative things here. You and I are both small business owners, right? Like, we
Hmm.
need to make money to feed our pets and ourselves and pay for a very expensive world. So
Oh my
like
gosh, yeah.
how do you deal with like pressure to kind of fit in but also stand out, but maybe not stand out too much?
It's definitely something that like I still struggle with like all the time.
Oh yeah.
I think one of the best pieces of advice I actually read was from Kemper, who does junk yarn.
Mm-hmm.
They posted on their threads account that like the best thing that dyers can do is not follow other dyers. And like I have a lot of friends that are dyers. I'm not going to unfollow them, but I try to like kind of curate my feed to also be like other forms of art that I love and find inspiring and like
Mm.
general people that I vibe with. So like ceramics artists, painters,
Ooh,
like art
yeah.
that I totally like take in and hold so dearly to me, but it's not something where I'm going to be like, well, I can't paint like that because like I'm not a painter. That's not my thing.
Yeah.
And like
You're a yarn
I still
painter.
follow, yeah, I still follow a lot of yarn accounts and things like that, but I think just not having your whole feed be like overloaded with what other
Yeah.
people are doing is really important. And I think also
You can
like
also follow people and mute them. Just
there is
say.
that. I think also like I was a weird kid growing up, like just straight up.
Mm. I
I
don't
was
know
a
anything
weird
about
kid that
that.
I know. I was a weird kid that didn't have a lot of friends and like I like you carry that with you your whole life, whatever. So I'm kind of just like used to not doing what other people are doing.
Hmm. You have
So that
a lot of
kind of
practice. Yeah.
yeah, like I'm just like, oh, like this is that works for you, but it doesn't work for me. Like I think I'm becoming more accepting of that, like as I come into myself more. Um, and also realizing that like it's not realistic for me to have a pristine space. Like
No.
I I have ADHD. I have a toddler. I have two dogs. Like it's just
Yeah.
everything is chaos all the time and like I can put my energy into making that space or I can put that energy into making yarn. Like
You're just giving me excuses to not go do my dishes after we finish talking. So great.
I'm just saying, prioritize the creative process and everything else will figure itself out.
Exactly. Paper plates exist. It's fine.
Right.
But yeah, I love that. I mean, I feel like that really brings true for me too as a disabled maker, right? That
Yeah.
I've got like one spoon today. I'm not going to spend it cleaning the baseboards. I'm going to spend it, answering the emails that need to get done or drawing on my iPad for, however long until I need to nap. And yeah, my next question is a question I dream about all the time of like, if you could take anything about your business and being a business owner and make someone else do it, what would that be?
Oh, that's the fantasy. I feel like I would love just like a marketing genius to come like I know this is why I have you, but I would love just like somebody to come into my life and be like, this is your social media schedule. These are the posts. Like,
Mm,
just like come in and do that kind of stuff for me because I've been yelled at the yarn shop that I work at part time recently by my coworkers who say I don't promote my yarn enough because we carry my yarn in the store and people will literally come buy my yarn and I will be ringing them up and be like, oh, nice. And like, there's just no, they're like, you need to tell them that's you. And I'm just like, but it's
I'm
weird.
yelling at you in my head right now too.
But I'm just like I'm so bad at self promotion. So if I had just like a little person in my life to be like, here's how we are promoting, so I don't have to like make those decisions because I think a lot of it is decision fatigue ultimately. No.
I know you are kind of a tall person. I am 4'11" on a good day, so I can be that little person literally on your shoulder.
I can hold us up. I'm like 5'8", 5'9". Like we can do this. We can be one giant person together.
Oh, that would be fun. That'd be a lot of chaos in one package, so I don't know about that.
I don't know if the world's ready, but they should. They should get ready.
Yeah, yeah. Watch out, world. So I know you already referenced it a little bit, the like sponsored content, disclaimer, et cetera, that we've worked together uh, to talk about marketing before. So one of the things I offer is marketing coaching for small business owners, for creatives, you know, people like us. So this question I have next for you, you've kind of already answered, but what are your marketing skeletons in the closet? Right? That like what to you
Ooh.
feels scary, exhausting, overwhelming, rather than everything you already just shared. We can talk about the
um,
algorithm.
oh my gosh, the freaking algorithm. I feel like you and I spoke previously about how I had a little stint working in book publishing. That was like
Mhm.
when I graduated college, I was like, I'm gonna go be work in the book industry. Like I'm a big reader. I got my degree in English lit.
Yeah,
Like,
Dolly
it
Parton
made
nine to
sense, right?
five in the background as
Yeah.
you're walking down the street. Yeah.
Yeah. So I worked as a publicist for a publishing house for, I want to say like 3 months.
Okay.
um,
Congratulations. That's a long
before,
time in publishing.
before I was asked to vacate my position, because of what I now know was undiagnosed ADHD symptoms that I did not have a handle on. Like my
Mhm.
organizational skills are chaotic on a good day. Um, so my biggest like fear with marketing is that like I'm doing it wrong. Like that's my own kind of
Okay.
unprocessed trauma from that
Yeah.
experience, was that like I'm doing something to drive people away purposefully and I'm just like showing up as me. So I think like so much of my marketing thing is like trying to undo the mental block of like I can show up as me and like people are going to like that. That's
I'm
a
gonna
huge
like
thing,
it.
and like thank you. That's a huge thing, and then it's also like okay, like I want to be authentic, and also I want to appease the algorithm gods so like the right people see my things. And so
Yeah.
it's this like dance of I want to be me, but I also want to like get traction and like find my
Yeah.
people. And so like the balancing act of that I think is like one of the more stressful parts for me.
Yeah. To me, it feels very like it feels very familiar. And to me, what feels familiar is it just feels like any artistic process, right? Where it's like you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to go to school or have a mentor who teaches you all of the rules. And so you need to follow all of the rules to be successful. But also, success is breaking the rules. It's, finding
Yeah.
your own flavor, but you still have to be in the rules somehow. And it's just like, what is this cognitive dissonance? What is this dystopian internet world that we live in?
Mm-hmm.
And usually my best advice is just do it, right? There's nothing scarier than that blank page. Just fill it
Yeah.
with something, throw it out in the world, see what happens. Whatever. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I think my biggest like hope for my brand and for my career is to like build authentic communities and not just like market random crap to people that they don't need, but like actually have like those genuine connections and like make other
Yeah.
people feel seen. I think that's like going back to like what my brand is and going back to being a weird kid with no friends. Like I think so much of what I try to do is like make people feel seen and welcome, and like the selling things side of it is like very small in comparison to like
Mm-hmm.
all of the other things that I prioritize and that I want to do. Like obviously I have to pay my
Yeah.
bills, I have to like make a living, and like I love that
Yeah.
people want to support my art. Like that's fine, but at the end of the day like so much of this for me is about finding those other weirdos that don't feel like they fit. Like making that community of people where we're all just a little funky and we love and support each other and we make crazy projects together and like everybody is kind to each other. That's like my dream.
All right. Put that on the sign outside our commune that we build. But exactly, right? That like I'm gonna wear neon to the grocery store. If someone has a
Yeah.
problem with it, that's that's their problem. Sorry you're sad and don't appreciate neon. Like it'll be okay. It'll be okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
All
They'll
right.
be
I
fine.
think yeah. I think we've talked enough business. And it's time for the fun lightning round that
Okay, I'm ready.
is gonna end our session today. Okay. Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
I did not come up with anything, by the way, beforehand. So this is all lightning round to me too. Are you ready for this or that?
Okay,
Worsted or
yes.
fingering? Worsted or fingering?
Fingering.
Good answer. A trip to the moon or a trip to the core center of the earth?
The moon. I don't like being hot.
Perfect. That's why you live in Portland.
It's true. I get so sweaty so fast. Like I keep me away from the center of the earth, please.
I mean, Sacramento here, it's pretty much the center of the earth during the summer, so we'll visit another time. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yarn crawl or yarn festival?
No, I feel like I'm choosing between my children.
Fine.
Um,
You can pass
damn.
on that one.
I'm gonna say both because as
Okay.
a bisexual woman, you can't make me choose. And you can keep this in. I don't care.
I love it. Yeah. Love to everyone. Perfect. Done. Oh my gosh. Okay. Last question. Lightning round question. Would you rather only knit for the rest of your life or only dye yarn for the rest of your life? The tension is
Oh,
so high right now.
it's like I told you I'm a sweaty person. I feel like I'm getting sweaty again. Um, I feel like I would dye yarn and then I would pick up another hobby that keeps my hands busy.
There you go, right? I didn't say like, you could dye
You don't
yarn
say
and
I couldn't
crochet
crochet.
and weave and you
Yeah,
got dye fiber and spin.
right?
I
So
don't
yeah,
know, dye
I
some
just I
macrame
need a
cord.
right. I need a hands thing to
Yeah,
be happening.
we love the
So yeah,
fidget. Ugh, fidget toys all the way.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for talking with me, Fiona. This was so fun. And again, this is maybe a podcast, maybe not a podcast. I can't make any decisions because decisions are hard for neurodivergent people. That's my new theme song.
I love it. I love it. Put it in GarageBand. It'll be a banger.
Mm, mm, mm. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, thank you all if you have made it this far, and we will see you on the internet where we live. Bye, y'all.
Bye.